Welcome, everybody. This is the No Boundaries radio show with Craig and Charles, offering you a completely open forum. Good evening, Craig.
How are you doing this evening, Charles?
I'm doing this evening very excellently.
This evening.
Yes, we're doing very well here, folks. We
another
have the lights.
Another Friday night here
Yeah.
at WBNW, 11:20 a.m.
That's right.
Let us know what you're doing tonight.
Well, we know what we're doing. We're going to be offering the greatest, most complex entertainment the world has ever seen. But we'll be simplifying it all night for you.
That sounds pretty intense.
Yeah, that is intense, isn't it? I don't know how we're gonna do this, but we'll just let the waters flow.
Yeah, we'll let it be as it may.
Yeah, let the waters flow, but keep your pants dry, if you know what I mean. How was your Thanksgiving, man? We haven't been here in a while.
Yeah, we missed last week. My Thanksgiving was good. I got to hang out at home with just the immediate family. It was good. Didn't have to travel much. Had a good time. What did you do?
What did I do? Well, I also hung out with family. My little cousin got his permit, so I took him driving, which I think was the coolest because...
Oh, that must have been fun.
Yeah, well, I got to just sit back and relax. When someone drove me around, most kids our age, they don't like to drive anymore. By the time you become 18, driving's like a chore. And I was watching him just enjoying nothing while exactly.
Yeah,
just turned the car on and we just
went. Was he a good driver?
Well, he was, but tell you the truth, after eating all the food on Thanksgiving, I don't really remember much of it. I was like asleep.
You asleep?
Yeah, I was. I wasn't asleep. I was watching his driving and giving him constructive criticism, the whole time.
Oh yeah, I'm sure that must have been fun.
Yeah, it was fun. I'll tell you. Have you ever done that? Taken someone younger, like?
No, not yet. I can't say I have.
Yeah, well, you don't know what you're missing.
Do I?
Well, that's what you're missing exactly. Trucks coming your way, dangerous. Yeah. You're pretty good with those sounds.
You like that?
I do like that.
We could have like wars. Maybe we'll make that a segment on our show here.
Oh, you want war, buddy? Yeah, I can give you war. Maybe I can't.
Nope, you can't.
You're not allowing it.
I'm not allowing you.
All right, fair enough. Oh, there they are. Let's talk about news, friend.
What do we got going on in the news? I just saw that Evel Knievel died.
Yeah, at 69. What a coincidence,
Imagine he made it that far. I'm very surprised.
Tell you the truth, that guy should have been dead a long time ago with all the stuff he was doing.
Yeah, really, with all those jumps and everything, he was doing serious stuff out there. And
yeah.
Oh.
You know what?
Smash.
I can pretty much guarantee that Evel Knievel's genitalia were of a small nature.
I don't know about that.
Well, dude, I mean, he made up
over
for
huge jumps in Vegas.
But what was he doing that for? To get attention? Why? Because on the schoolyard, kids made fun of him in the gym class, in the locker room.
Poor guy.
Yeah, and he said, you know what? You guys will see. I'm gonna get super strong, and I'm going to ride motorcycles over buses.
And flail and smash my skull and break all my bones on cement.
That's what I'm saying, man. I mean, all right. What else do we have here? How about this hostage crisis at Clinton's office?
Really? Haven't heard about this.
You didn't hear about this?
No.
Man, it's like top news. A distraught man wearing what appeared to be a bomb walked into a Hillary Rodham Clinton campaign office Friday and demanded to speak to the candidate during a hostage drama that dragged on for nearly 6 hours before he peacefully surrendered. It dragged on because of the media complex. This guy obviously is having a lot of doubts about his reality.
That's very interesting.
I hear the cops just went by.
Yeah.
They weren't looking for him. He's been detained. They're probably looking for you.
I don't know. They already caught him, didn't they? Did they catch this guy?
Well, as they say, he peacefully surrendered after keeping people hostage with a bomb. How do you peacefully surrender? Well, apparently he had a bomb. It appeared to be a bomb. It doesn't say that now, though. It says wearing what appeared to be a bomb. Associated Press, 12 minutes ago. Was this article here. But all I have to say, man, is that obviously this guy has something that he needed to say or needed to hear from Hillary, but I
felt that was the best way to do it.
Exactly. Well, regardless of what the best or worst way is, the news is still not going to tell us this guy's belief. I mean, his perspective. I mean, let me see. Let me read on in this if it even says anything about it. I mean, it's not going to say.
This just happened tonight, right?
Yeah, it just happened today. It's not going to say. Let me see. It's not going to say what the guy's beliefs are and why he did that.
No, of course not. They're not going to say that. They don't care.
It's nothing more than a gimmick to get around the Constitution and go around in the middle of the night upon unsuspecting citizens in their own yard and search their vehicles. Oh, so this is the guy. All right. So he's upset about illegal searches.
And that's why he went in there.
I suppose so. This is
He
nothing
really
more.
thought that was gonna.
Yeah, Eisenberg,
change the-
this
the
guy,
situation.
Eisenberg, made local headlines in March when he held a news conference on the steps of Rochester City Hall to complain about a police policy of placing flyers in unlocked cars, warning motorists to lock their doors. Wow. That is why he became, made local headlines. I guess that sounds pretty messed up, though. I mean, you get back to your car, and there's a flyer in it that says you should lock your door.
Yeah, but if it's from the police, I mean, great. I'm gonna lock my door from now on because they're. But I don't think they have the right to search, or even go in my car. They can leave it on.
No, he said leave it in the car. That's what they were doing.
They can put it on my windshield wiper or something like that.
They're not doing that. They were putting them inside the actual physical car.
Huh.
See, that I disagree with, but even though I disagree with it, I'm not going to strap a bomb to my chest.
Yeah, really.
So I disagree that this
It was definitely
why he went
more
in there.
extreme way to.
He must know something else. He
get
must
his
have
point
some
across.
other question. He's going to go in there because some cop went into his car with a flyer. He's going to strap a bomb and ruin his future. I don't think
that
so.
doesn't sound right.
Yeah, this
There's
guy's...
got to be something else.
He's a patsy. He clearly knows something.
A patsy.
He's a patsy.
What is that?
A patsy, like if someone just got assassinated and you were like running away from the scene, the police grabbed you and they were like, this guy did it, and everyone knew you didn't, but they plugged you with all... They plugged you. That's kind of a weird way. They put everything on you. You'd be a patsy.
Yeah.
Are you a patsy?
No, I don't believe so.
Good, because then you'd be incriminating me by association. I don't need that.
Yeah, I don't need that either.
Guests. We have a guest on.
Yeah, what's our guest tonight?
Our guest is Paula Fouce. Paula Fouce is a very interesting person. Her direction of discussion tonight is going to be why religious fanaticism is accelerating and growing in this world, and you know, how it's used. Apparently she knows a lot. There was a situation where she was in a country and she was on a bus traveling with some people from the country. She's a reporter or peace activist. She goes around the whole world. And the prime minister of this country was assassinated. So the military had stopped the bus she was on and apparently taken some individuals off of it and actually murdered them right in front of her.
Right then and there?
Right then and there, supposedly. So,
Wow.
you know, there were some other stories. That one was the most intense, but apparently she's met the Dalai Lama and she knows quite a bit about the whole system of religious
been around.
thing. Yeah, she's been around, and she seemed very nice when I talked to her, so I'm really interested in what she's going to say, and we're going to have a good time talking to her.
Yeah, that'll be fun.
Yeah, so.
Nice.
What else do we have in news? Do you have any...
Well, we got, I think people, have you heard about that shooting that happened to that football player, Sean Taylor?
We're talking about Sean Taylor.
There's 3 people detained for questioning in his murder.
Now, these football players, I mean... What was he? How was he shot?
Well, I don't know. I get that I'm hearing more and more that this was possibly gang related.
Like this guy's involved in some
well,
stuff.
I don't know if he maybe was in the past, but
Yeah.
got out of it, and his friends didn't
Once he
didn't agree. Once he got made lots of money.
Once he made a bunch of
NFL.
money and didn't need to mess around with who he was messing around with, they probably came back and said,
Yeah.
"You can't forget about us."
Yeah, well, I saw stuff on the news saying whenever he played in certain cities, he was scared to even go out on the streets after the games. Like he was scared for his life, which is I couldn't imagine that. Being a professional football player in the limelight all the time, so anybody could just find you and take you down, which
Anyway,
I think is what happened.
Because you're in the
It's
public
unfortunate.
eye.
Yeah.
Well, I think as a lot of it might be he had a group of people he associated with, and now that he's famous and rich,
Yeah.
they're probably trying to take advantage of him, and now they've killed him, which is very sad.
Yeah, very unfortunate.
Let's have a moment of silence for Sean Taylor. Okay, Sean Taylor, we'll miss you. Let's get into some of the news that is not so mainstream.
What do you got?
I love this stuff. It's the best. I'm actually going to. Ron Paul's doing well, man. I hope
Is he?
does good. Yeah.
You like him a lot?
I like Ron Paul, man. We tend to talk about him a lot in here, but
Yeah.
I just can't get over. I mean, I recently went onto YouTube, which everyone can do, and I typed in Ron Paul and I typed in Federal Reserve. A lot of people are saying, well, Ron Paul's crazy. He wants to get rid of Social Security. He wants to get rid of the Federal Reserve. He's crazy. He's so radical. Well, it's really not that radical. I mean, if you listen to what he's saying, he's basically just talking in simple English about the issues in a way
Common
that
sense,
these
man. We gotta
guys
bring common sense
Yeah.
back to America. People
Yeah.
are just not. It's baffling to me how people act these days. It's crazy. Common
Yeah.
sense, a little courtesy here and there will go a long way, I think.
It's so simple. Like
So simple.
Like you say, do people have the common sense to understand when they're listening to one of these debates, these presidential debates, the candidates really aren't saying anything. They're talking so much, but they're just using this rhetoric to move through issues, but they're never really giving a stance or really talking about the things about
That really matter.
Yeah, I mean it's
just like little petty things,
Yeah.
that they think are gonna, hit the masses and all of a sudden be this huge deal.
yeah.
They're
Well,
just trying to find the best thing to promote in their campaigns. And, they bash each other and, this person does this person does that. It's pathetic.
it is pathetic. Recently, I saw that the police were going into people's homes. Okay.
Yeah.
In Boston, I don't know if we talked about this last time, but they were going to
I don't
people's
think so.
homes, and these police officers or FBI officers are dressed in normal clothes, and they go into a home in, let's say, Dorchester, crime-laden,
Yeah.
neighborhood, and they'll knock on the door and they'll say to the parent, "Can we search your child's room for guns?" Okay? Now, according to the police program and the lawyers that are supporting it, the parent has the right to say no. But if you're in Dorchester, Roxbury, and I'm sure these policemen aren't saying, "Can we search in your child's room?" You have the right to say no, because blah, blah. They're just
Yeah.
saying, "We're officers of the law, we're FBI, we're running a program where we're searching for illegal guns. Can we search in your child's room?" A lot of these people say yes. Now, they have this stipulation that if they find a weapon and it hasn't been involved in a crime, okay, then they will not prosecute the individual that they find the weapon in.
Okay.
Also, if they find a certain amount of a small amount of drugs in the room that they're searching, they won't prosecute for them. But there's all these questions like, how much drugs? What about the guns that they find that have been involved in crimes that they don't know of yet? And also, the illegal search and seizure arguments are insane on that.
Yeah. Well, it seems like all of those rules are pretty much going out the window now.
I tell you, they really are. There's a lot of people in high places that have quotes. There are quotes from these high-up bankers and stuff like that saying basically we need to squash checks and balances. What allows the three branches of government to be independent and not be able to tell each other what to do are checks and balances. And right now the executive branch has just taken all the power from, forcing the Supreme Court to do what it wants. The World Court's been put into place. The United Nations itself undermines the sovereignty of our country in a way.
Yeah, I think so. I
know?
think there's a lot of stuff that goes on that we don't know about.
Yeah.
That isn't technically right,
Yeah. We're not in a position where we're threatened by those powers that be, because we're not really, big enough to agitate them, but we can talk about them.
Yeah, we can. That's why we're here. No
The
Boundaries
government.
radio show, folks. Give us a call if you want to talk to us. We'll have a guest pretty soon, Paula Fouce, coming on around 7:30. End of the month, December, coming up real quick.
I can't believe it's almost over, man.
I know, this year went by fast.
It did go by fast.
Real fast. You want to take a break?
Yeah, let's take a break.
All right, we'll be right back, folks.
From the WBNW Weatherbug Weather Center. For tonight, we'll see partly cloudy skies, low 31. Mostly sunny tomorrow, high 42. Gusty winds as high as 30 miles per hour. Partly cloudy tomorrow night with a low of 30. Sunny on Saturday, high near 38. Gusty winds as high as 28 miles per hour. A slight chance of snow after 3 a.m. Saturday night. It'll be cloudy with a low of 21. Snow on Sunday, high near 37. Rain mixed with snow on Monday. It'll be mostly cloudy, high near 39. Mostly sunny Tuesday, high near 35. I'm Cindy Bucci for the station everyone's talking about, WBNW 1120 AM.
Welcome back, everyone. This is the No Boundaries radio show with Craig and Charles. It's 7:25 here on Friday, November 30th, 2007. A wonderful night. What do you think?
Beautiful evening. It was kind of nice today.
Yeah, it was nice. It was a nice day. Kind of got a little cold, but here to warm things up is a guest we have on, Paula Fouce, a very nice woman who I spoke with just briefly. But your story, Paula, are you with us?
Yes, I am.
Your story.
Thank you so much for having me.
Oh, no problem. Thanks for being with us.
Thank you for being with us.
Right now, all I know about your story is that its focus is essentially to, I'm sure, educate people on the nature of religious fanaticism and its, I guess, acceleration or growing. Is that something that you've taken to the world?
Yes, very much so. What happened is that I was living in India in the Far East. I was studying religions because I was writing a book on faith, and I was leading a wonderful, peaceful existence. And suddenly, I was trapped in a religious riot where my life was threatened and I was almost killed. So this story, together with the facts of what's been going on in the world today. I mean, every time you turn on the news, we seem to be hearing, the nature of so many conflicts being fought in the name of religion.
Yeah, ideologies and religions. Well, could you maybe delve a little bit into the experience of this riot, this religious violence?
Absolutely. I was in India. I was in New Delhi. And Indira Gandhi, who was the prime minister at that time, was assassinated by her Sikh bodyguards. And Sikhism is a fairly young religion founded about 500 years ago in India. And what happened is, as a cycle of revenge began, the Hindus decided to start, murdering Sikhs, burning up their businesses.
Wow.
And I was standing there on a terrace in New Delhi just having cinders fall all over my shoulders, as everything was lit on fire all around me. Huge columns of smoke were going up. And I ran to get a bus to the airport. And as we went on that bus, the driver had to swerve all over because there were huge gangs of hoodlums who had gathered, who were coming and looking for Sikhs to kill.
Wow.
Because they looked upon Indira Gandhi as, she was a Hindu, but she was also known kind of as the mother of India. So I had to experience firsthand what it was like. They were able to stop our bus, and they came aboard looking for Sikhs to take them off and kill them. And they were just, holding huge crowbars, and it was just an absolutely terrifying experience. And I happened to be in the front of the bus, and I was wearing a Sikh symbol around my neck that had been given to me by a friend. Just like anywhere, if you travel, you're given various things by people.
Yeah,
the local people.
Yeah, to
will
these
give
rioters, though. Did they notice this symbol?
Luckily it was under my shirt.
Wow.
But I was just absolutely terrified, and they stopped and they were staring at me for about a good 10 minutes.
Wow.
So I was just like, my heart was in my throat. It was just, my heart was pounding. And luckily for me, they finally let our bus go. But it was just terrible. It went into 3 to 5 days of carnage where people were just, murdered. About 5,000 people, I believe, in total.
Unbelievable. Well, let me ask you, you obviously have quite a bit of experience with the influences the religions have and the nature of those influences. What exactly would inspire a group of people? I mean, this is a pretty simple question. I just want to hear your perspective. What would inspire a group of people to separate themselves, in beliefs, in I guess just the way they believe they exist, separate themselves so much from another group of individuals that they would just massacre them?
Well, what happened was when we made this film,
Yeah.
Not in God's Name, and if anyone's interested, please go to notingodsname.com. We did a great deal of research, and we found out there are 3 reasons for religious intolerance. The problem does not lie in the religions themselves, but rather it's how people misuse the religion. Just how we often hear on the news, they'll say, that terrorists have hijacked Islam, for instance.
Yeah.
So we found in our research the first reason for religious intolerance is political manipulation. And that's when within any government or within any country, people that are less educated or who are poor and don't have, much of a chance in life are the easiest ones to manipulate.
The meek, so to say.
Exactly, yeah, the meek, yeah. And then the second reason for religious intolerance that we've heard a lot about is territorial disputes.
Okay.
And that's what's going on between the Palestinians and the Israelis. And that is what is going on with Kashmir between Pakistan and India.
Yep.
And those are just huge problems that unfortunately are affecting the entire world. And people have lined up, behind the name of the religions to fight over these areas of land.
Mm-hmm.
And then the third reason for religious intolerance is the exclusive claim to truth.
Wow.
And that's when anyone says, my God is the right God, your God is wrong, and I have to kill you.
Yeah, or perhaps you're not the right type of Christian, or you're not the right type of Islamic. I think a lot of times within the religions, there are people that are trying to use the religions to, in a sense, perfect themselves, to become connected, to become, to feel the love of existence a little fuller. And then there are other people that realize that it does bring a sort of power, and it would be strange to me to really get into the mind of someone that educates themselves in order to, go against all the things that they're learning, just to use it as a power play almost. But that is completely interesting.
Because religion and God and the soul, it's just the most beautiful thing. And look how people can twist and kill in the name of God. It's just a terrible thing.
I think, as you say, of course, respectively, the first influence being political, definitely the strongest. I mean, when I think of the territorial aspects, I think of those skirmishes at those front lines being funded politically, fueled politically, flumed into just more intense carnage.
Yes, and since it creates such a cycle of retribution.
Yeah.
Every time I go kill you, all of your group's going to come back and kill my group, so it just goes on into infinity, basically.
Now,
somebody's going to wake up.
I mean, who profits from two groups fighting each other on a front line? Is there no one who profits? Is there an influence in the world that knows the dynamics of these aggressions and these failure for these groups to, integrate like humans should? Are there groups that benefit from that type of carnage?
I think people in power sometimes would like this to go on because it keeps them in power, perhaps. But one of our main people in the film is His Holiness the Dalai Lama.
Wow.
And he talks about the fact that no one can really benefit from this.
No one.
Because in the old days, we were kind of isolated. Societies weren't connected by television and the internet and satellites. And
yeah.
Now the boundaries are breaking down. So, if I hurt you, I don't really have that distance anymore.
Yeah.
You're kind of very well known to me and vice versa. So people all over the world were quite familiar with all of these societies all over the world.
Yep.
And we had leaders from 8 different religions who we interviewed in our film and who all took part. And it just seems a very outdated way of thinking, to hate in the name of God. It's something that we are going to have to get beyond, or we're going to have even worse trouble now because of the type of weapons that, we have around the world. The nuclear bombs, for instance.
Yep. What would you say?
I heard that Osama bin Laden just released another tape yesterday.
Yep. Well, that's always a surprise right before it always comes out before some important political moment of election or choice or reform. Yeah. But what would you say to? I mean, there's been things that I've read about how the nature of religions are different, and just to try to, things I've read that try to explain, why religions could repel each other or be aggressive toward each other. And really, I think it's perspective. Obviously, perspective is a huge piece. But, I mean, if we look at Buddhism, for instance, which I've been to a monastery and practiced some different aspects of Buddhism, mostly Zen, but it's an inward, it's an introspection. It's God is sort of like a great eye, in a sense. And then you have Christianity, where in a lot of the ideologies of Christianity, most people's perspective that I feel they have is God is sort of this great other. I mean, fundamental Christianity. And I mean, it's difficult for me because when I look at a religion, I see the religion through different perspectives. And then I look at a fanatic or someone who's radical in their religion, and I see a perspective and I can understand it, but I also see other perspectives to look at that same religion. How come these people get stuck in such a narrow view, a narrow perspective of the particular lessons of the religion?
You're exactly right. It's the fundamentalism that, if taken to the extreme level, that causes the problems. Otherwise, everyone should be able to worship God in whatever image we choose.
Yep.
And in fact, that's one of the reasons our country was founded, and we're lucky enough to be living here in that freedom.
Yep. I agree.
But you're very lucky that you have that kind of attitude and openness where you can see differences in religions, differences between religions, yet not get caught in that and not find that to be a negative thing.
Yeah, because
and what the Dalai Lama said is that he thinks there's such a variety of people all around the world that we need different religions. Different people are attracted to different paths.
Of course.
And nothing is bad or, nothing is wrong about those paths. So it's interesting because we were looking at all the similarities between faiths, and there's just so many, it's uncanny. Prayer, scripture, saints, icons, candles, water, prophets, rosaries, even the number of the beads on the rosaries are the same in all religions.
Yeah.
108, yeah.
108.
Except in Islam it's 99. And even the practices are the same, like charity. And I also got to meet Mother Teresa when I was over in India, and I noticed she was picking up and helping people of all faiths who were laying on the road, who had leprosy.
Wow.
It wasn't like, you're a Hindu, I'm not going to take care of you. You're a Muslim, I'm not going to take care of you. It was just a human being.
Wow. I think a lot of times when I look at religions, I really come to grips with the understanding that before there were religions, there had to be language. And I think religions are almost the ancient form of, the Bible to me is like a mirror. When I read it, I use the perspective that I've attained or that I've cultivated in my experience in my life. I use that perspective to pull apart the meaning behind the words and the metaphor. And it reflects to me what I perceive it with. And then you have other people that read the Bible and they read totally different things. And I think the difficulty for most people to understand is there actually is a spiritual line of development where you can be somewhat spiritually adequate, but you can increase that level of spiritual adequacy, your ability to take in the depths of this same religion that just 5 years ago you may have read into a little differently. It's really just amazing to me. Again, the Dalai Lama, you met the Dalai Lama. What exactly was I guess you could say, the main point that he carries? I know he's the sort of embodiment of compassion, but...
I've been fortunate enough to meet him several times over the last, say, 25 to 30 years. But what he always exhibits is a remarkable amount of humility, complete and utter humility, and a fantastic sense of humor. He's always laughing, which is great. And he is just into tolerance, and his message is tolerance all the time.
Which is
as you
unbelievable.
said, compassion, but compassion and tolerance.
To see what he's seen, the carnage that he has witnessed, and to still maintain that level of being humble. And I guess, he is compassionate and he represents tolerance, but in a sense, in a deeper sense, he actually is probably one of the strongest warriors there is,
That's a very good point.
In a sense, he's smiling and laughing, but it's just intense. His fierceness of his goals must be just unwavering.
Yeah, it really is unwavering. And he is an incredible being because he always remains the same. Imagine if you had to greet and bless thousands of people every day of your life. You probably wouldn't be in a good mood after a while.
Wow.
Yeah. Most human beings, it would wear us down, always being faced with a constant line of people coming at you. But he always is in this wonderful mood and helpful and very positive all the time, very kind, great deal of kindness.
Unbelievable. Well, not to be too esoteric, but I'm sure that he's been passed down through generations of his art. The different skills on how to turn those thousands of greetings he gives into actually a way of empowering himself into, in a sense, some sort of a superhuman state. I mean, the Dalai Lama isn't just a common name. This man has within him, embedded with him, the goal of many warriors put together.
That's very true. Yes,
Wow.
absolutely true. He is a person who is universal.
What would you
He
say
can
about...
walk among any group of people. In fact, I just read a story of him going down to Cusco, Peru, and being with the native people there.
Totally different
And-
background and religion and
Yeah,
understanding.
it's very interesting. All the indigenous tribes down in
Well,
Peru.
I think love is love, whatever you call it, or God is God
Yeah,
in a
that's
sense.
exactly. Wonderful.
Well, what would you say the similarities between Mother Teresa when you met her and the Dalai Lama? I mean, they're from two completely different backgrounds. It'd be hard.
It's interesting you would ask that. The huge, huge, huge similarity between them both is humility. And they have kind of a shiny, happy countenance. You know, they have this incredible energy.
Mm-hmm.
And they both held onto my hands a long time.
Wow.
It's very interesting. Mother Teresa held on to them for about 15 minutes. And
No
I kept
awkwardness at all.
No, and I felt funny. I kept saying, "Boy, you must be busy. You know, I can go now." And
Yeah.
I felt funny. Why am I taking up her time? You know,
Yeah.
once you're around someone like that, you just become kind of empty. And you
Yeah.
feel, you know, what am I standing here for? Oh, yeah, I'm supposed to ask a question. That's right.
Yeah.
So they're very charming.
Whatever you could possibly ask, she would just talk and, give the answer she felt best, but it's the actual presence of her
Yes.
in front of you that's actually giving you, what she's so famous for giving.
Yeah, I was at a conference in Bombay in 1981, and she spoke there, and she told everyone, "Love until it hurts."
Yep. That's there's a writer named Ken Wilber. Are you familiar with Ken Wilber?
Yes.
Well, he's got I think he's got a chapter of one of his books called Love Until It Hurts. But it's interesting because people are constantly trying to find, in this society, America especially, they're trying to find a place where they can feel pleasure and not have to deal with the pain. So I believe this creates a certain perspective where we're trying to avoid different pains, good pains and bad pains. But someone like Mother Teresa, I believe, has shattered her idea of her separate self, I guess we could say, and she really just aims right for this suffering and just takes it in and digests it almost.
Very much so. Yeah, and you would say, as far as the Buddhists go and His Holiness Dalai Lama, that whether it's pain or pleasure, that it's all just illusion.
It is. It's
and
Maya.
not to be attached. So
Maya, as they call it, correct?
yes, easy to say, hard to do.
Yeah.
Not to be attached to
So
any kind of emotion.
you've done a sort of all religion look through your movie here. Is there any particular religion that you would say you're more of a practitioner of than another religion, or do you practice none?
I was brought up Catholic, but
Okay.
I lived and studied for many years in the Far East and
Okay.
wrote a book on Hinduism, as well as have made 3 documentary films. So I've been very close to many of the religions, and my overriding identification with them all is they're just all beautiful. I respect all religions, and I actually practice in a very American way, I guess, kind of a melting pot.
Yep. Sort of an integral spirituality as opposed to a particular ideology.
That's very true. But yet it fits any one of those labels. If you said, is that Christian, you'd say yes. Is that Sikh? Yes. Is it Hindu? Yes.
But I think
Is
at
it
your
Jain?
level,
Yes.
the reason we're saying yes, like for instance, some Christians would say, well, you're not a Christian because
Right.
you agree that this other religion will bring you to heaven. But I think you say that you are practicing Christianity and Hinduism and Sikh. You're practicing all those because you're looking at all of them from that higher perspective. And the higher your perspective, I believe, the more synonymous the lesson behind these religions become. And I think the highest truth is sort of just found every moment. You just take a breath in and just come here now. And I think each religion has the power of taking you to where you already are, in a sense. If you
Absolutely
just,
true. And most religions, if not all, have a mystical path, such as in Islam, the Sufis.
Yep, the Sufism, yep.
So, and there's so many practices, and there's so many ways to get beyond the small self, to get beyond the ego, and to perceive, that which we all are, which is this one unifying spirit. Whether you call it the Holy Ghost, whether you call it the Atman, there's so many labels, so many systems with so many names, for all the spiritual or religious concepts.
There truly are. And it's easy
so
for...
we tried to, make our film reflect all of this. And Not in God's Name, it was a very difficult film to make. So we hope people will go to our website and find out about it, and it will be seen, widely in the near future, perhaps in a few months.
Well, can we discuss a little deeper into the, how you put the film together, basically, the outline of how the film looks, what it delves into?
Absolutely. What happened was we found out as we made the film that it's such a gigantic subject that we had to keep kind of taking things out. And we ended up following the Dalai Lama's advice through the film, because it is such a vast subject. You can't go so deeply into every religion and be able to get it all into a film without overpowering people with the amount of content and with all the details. So what happens is the Dalai Lama suggests some steps to take to get beyond religious intolerance, such as going on a pilgrimage. One day when he was in India, he went on a pilgrimage to the houses of worship of 8 different religions all in one day.
Wow.
So he suggests doing that. And then he suggests about how leaders of all faiths should get together and discuss not only the religions in an academic fashion, but to go deeper and to discuss their own spiritual experiences according to their own tradition.
Wow, that's interesting.
And then he discusses people of various faiths going together to these holy places.
Wow.
So he's one of the main threads throughout the film. And then we also first started to make a film about religious tolerance and ended up having to cover the intolerance.
Of course, yeah. You can't have, you can't have one side of the coin without the other.
So there's a great deal of archival footage about all the various, tit-for-tat attacks and everything that has been happening. And we use India as a microcosm of the entire world because it is the birthplace of many of the world's great faiths.
It is.
And also because 8 faiths are living there very closely, side by side, and usually harmoniously. And then yet suddenly these terrible religious riots will take place.
It's unbelievable how inevitably, if you're searching for an aspect of yourself that's really unsearchable, it's really, it's the searcher itself that is the nature of what you're looking for. But it's so easy for people to hop on board. I think one term I've heard is mythic membership, which is a great word because that really helped me to see that these people are members of a group and they can see that there are benefits with the group and they can take them in and give to this group. But there are also other people that feel like because they're in a group, they have to fight for it and try to change other people for it. And it really has to do with the differences between egocentrism, ethnocentrism, globocentrism, and then a universal understanding in a sense. Wow.
Yeah, that's absolutely true.
Wow.
Yeah, it gets skewed.
It does.
Yeah, we're supposed to be using these paths to be closer to each other and to be compassionate, and the opposite can happen.
Like you said,
if
the
people
meek.
are not understanding that there's something much deeper that we're talking about. It's the soul.
Yeah, I think this country has been directed away from I guess, the sensitivity to that soul. A lot of people I meet, especially my age, are so quick to tell me that they're atheist, so quick to tell me that they don't have, they don't have to agree that there is something that is mysterious. It's just very difficult to get through people who have reduced themselves to this materialistic existence. It's kind of sad.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Sometimes it's like talking to a wall.
It is, and then you realize that you're actually talking to, an aspect of yourself, a part of you that you used to hold and have transformed out of. I think the frustration comes from the fact that sometimes we don't want to be certain parts that we are or have been. And I guess that's what causes the violence.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Well,
hopefully we will keep evolving. The human race. We need to understand our oneness. It sounds very pat. I remember at the end of the L.A. riots last time, Rodney King was saying, "Can't we all just get along?"
Yeah.
And it's become kind of a joke. People will use that and make fun of you. Sometimes when you talk about this message, and we go, "Well, if we could get along, it would be happening."
Yeah. What do you see for the future of humanity? Just to put things into perspective, we have, like you said, religious wars are breaking out. We have governments of countries doing what I believe and what a lot of people who have woken up believe to be a collectivism, a one world government moving into place through different structures, and I really see a lot of changes that are going to come drastically, and a lot of decisions that are going to come hard on people's lives. What do you make of the future ahead?
It seems like that's what's happening, but I have to be optimistic and hope that we learn that we can't keep going in the direction of, creating more bloodshed for each other. It doesn't really bring anything positive. Now, I know the only people we really need to get to are the extremists.
Yep.
Everyone else is ready to get along, so we don't need to preach to the choir, but we need to make people, open their hearts, open their minds when they look at these different paths. Because nowadays there are 50 religious conflicts being fought around the world at any time. 50.
Now, how many of those conflicts can you say that if you changed the perspectives of the extreme... because for me, hearing that there are 50 conflicts means there are 50 groups of extremists fighting each other with a few people behind each group, sort of funding, controlling, organizing.
Engineering it, yeah.
You know what I mean? And those engineers, to me, seems like those engineers might just understand the deeper meanings, but might just be in a place where they're receiving some sort of a financial thing or a material thing or a power thing. How do we get to those people that run those structures?
We have to just keep trying. It seems that Ireland has calmed down, for instance. That was very bad for a long time between the Protestants and the Catholics. So we have to just keep trying.
Just keep expanding love.
That's why we made this film, for instance, just trying to communicate. I think education is really important.
Yep.
For youngsters to understand. For them not to feel frightened or scared of something that seems different.
Wow.
Like these religious paths, if you look at them sometimes and you're not so educated about them, you might think, "Oh, that's really weird," and have a bad attitude. So
it's because they're written in a different language.
Yeah.
Yeah. It is funny though. You get to kind of laugh sometimes at the humor behind the nature of humankind and these silly steps. It almost seems like we have to, because humankind is like an infant. Really?
Yeah, some of these things we're fighting about are so archaic.
They really are. And there are pockets of individuals, for instance, the Dalai Lama is clearly at the apex of this, but there are pockets of individuals who are reaching out of that sort of extreme mindset and into a much more integrated place. And once you reach that place, it's not necessarily a superior place. It's just, maybe there's just an ability for some people to eat through the different parasites, mental parasites that are so available out there. Wow.
That's a good way of putting it.
I'd say it's a parasite.
His Holiness, the Dalai Lama, he received the Congressional Gold Medal about a month ago for his work.
That's right, yeah.
For religious tolerance, and it was a wonderful occasion. So I hope everyone doesn't forget that too quickly.
Unbelievable.
He's been promoting tolerance, for a long, long time now.
Yeah, he's sort of the grandmaster. The grandmaster of tolerance and compassion, I'd say, on the world scene.
Yeah,
certainly
absolutely
not the Pope.
Nowadays.
But
and his hero was Mahatma Gandhi, interestingly enough.
Mahatma Gandhi, wow.
Yeah.
The man who Britain couldn't take down.
And Martin Luther King was another great one. So thank goodness we have these people in history to look to who successfully were able to spread the word.
Well, we have Martin Luther King, Mahatma Gandhi, His Holiness the Dalai Lama, and also, from my perspective, we have Paula Fouce, who has done quite a bit, and I can tell just from talking to you this short time that you are a very compassionate individual, and you have found, not to sound cheesy, but you found the light, and you are working to help shine it on others and help them to find their own internal light. We're running out of time for this interview, Paul. I'd like for you to repeat your website where people can find your movie. And,
thank you so much, and I really appreciate your having me on, and you also are just helping to spread the light.
That's
Our
what we do.
Our website is notingodsname.com and also paradisefilmworks.com.
paradisefilmworks.com and notingodsname.com, folks. You heard it. Paula Fouce, a wonderful person. Paula, can we have you on again sometime in the future?
I would love to. Thank you so much.
Excellent. Thank you, Paula. Ladies and gentlemen out there, we're going to be, yes, very good. What a wonderful guest. I feel like I've released tension just having this simple discussion. What did you think about that, man?
Great interview, Chaz. Great job.
Thank you. Well,
very good. I like that. Paula was very, very informative.
Exactly, man. Paula, she's just a very, very nice woman, peaceful to talk to. That went so smoothly. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to be right back. Should I play some music, Craig, to bring us out?
Yeah, what do you got?
Well, I was going to play a little Marley, seeing that we are talking about different people, religious intolerance, people with violence. How about this song right here? Bob Marley, Them Belly Full, But Them Hungry. Politicians, man. It's a good live song. Enjoy. We'll be right back.
WBNW, 11:20 a.m. This is No Boundaries. Charles and Craig. 888-205-2263. Give us a call if you want to talk to us.
Them belly full, but we hungry. A hungry mob is a hungry mob. A rain or fall, but the dirt to dirt. A pot to cook, but the food not enough. We're going to dance to jam music dance. We're gonna dance to jam music dance. Forget your sorrows and dance. Forget your troubles and dance. Forget your sickness and dance, and dance, and dance. Forget your weakness and dance. We're singing, cost of living gets so high. The rich and the poor, they start to cry. But now the weak must get strong. They're singing, oh, what a tribulation. I mean, them belly full, but we hungry. A hungry mob is a hungry mob. A rain or fall, the dirt to dirt. A pot to cook, but the food enough. We're going to chuck to jam music. We're chucking.
You're listening to Boston's only personal finance radio, AM 1120 WBNW.
Thousands of protesting Sudanese are demanding the execution of a British teacher who allowed her students to name a teddy bear Muhammad. Gillian Gibbons, who was convicted of insulting Islam, was sentenced yesterday to 15 days in prison and deportation. The Federal Trade Commission says a new analysis concludes that 8.3 million Americans over 18 were victims of identity theft in 2005. That's down from 9.9 million in 2003, but consumer advocates are not convinced the numbers are accurate. One problem in getting accurate information about identity theft is that most consumers don't know it when their personal information is compromised. The FTC acknowledges that its identity theft survey involved such a small sample that the results are not, quote, statistically significant. Netherlands. One research firm says identity theft cost American businesses $55 billion last year. The FTC says the cost to consumers, $1.2 billion. For the latest news and analysis, log on to irnnews.com.
From the WBNW WeatherBug Weather Center. For tonight, we'll see partly cloudy skies, low 31. Mostly sunny tomorrow, high 42. Gusty winds as high as 30 miles per hour. Partly cloudy tomorrow night with a low of 30. Sunny on Saturday, high near 38. Gusty winds as high as 28 miles per hour. A slight chance of snow after 3 a.m. Saturday night. It'll be cloudy with a low of 21. Snow on Sunday, high near 37. Rain mixed with snow on Monday. It'll be mostly cloudy, high near 39. Mostly sunny Tuesday, high near 35. I'm Cindy Bucci. For the station everyone's talking about, WBNW 1120 AM.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're back and we're dancing. We got pizza, we got a party, we got sodas, we got roller skating.
Roller skating.
You don't know anything
Roller
about
derby.
this. Roller derby, we got the head roller derby master over here, Craig. You should see this kid on 8 wheels.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. You got those old school roller skates too with the
little stop on the front.
in the front. Yeah, I like that, man. You're looking really good over there on your arena that you set up earlier.
Roller derby.
You know what? I'm feeling spiritual today, man. We had that guest on just now. She was very nice woman.
Yeah, very knowledgeable. Very knowledgeable.
I'll tell you, man. I mean, sometimes I've seen you intolerate religions. I can't tolerate your intolerance, Craig.
I can't I don't know. I can't really say my position on my religion. I could say I guess I don't really believe in anything.
I mean, do you believe that there is a mystery to your awareness right now?
I think everybody does, but I don't think there's something special. Like if when I die, like I'm gonna go to some special place. I don't think that's gonna happen.
Well, which religion says you're gonna go to a special place?
Well, a lot of Christianity, you go to die, you go to heaven. You know,
go to heaven.
you're in
Okay.
this magical place.
But there are other Christians that say that's not the case. That heaven is sort of what you've practiced living in life, whether it's a peaceful heaven-like state or a hell state. It'll just continue and be your existence after your physical death. But I mean, we can talk about differences between religions all night long. But like she said, and His Holiness has said, love is something that exists in every single religion, no matter what. Oh my God, what is that?
We're in the jungle.
Oh my goodness, we're in the jungle. And what are you trying to say? That
it's our state of the show tonight.
Oh, okay, we're wild.
Or more tranquil, I would say.
Tranquil like a jungle. Nice. Every time I want to just peaceful, relax, I go right into the middle of the jungle. The Congo.
Yeah, what's wrong with that?
Hey, I'm down. Just give me a bow and arrow.
Down.
I'm down. I'm up. I'm like Tarzan. Can you
Up
make a
and
good
down?
Tarzan sound?
Tarzan.
Yeah, I want to hear it. No?
I'm not seeing it here.
You're not seeing it? I'm saying, can you, with your physical self?
No.
Wow, that's unbelievable. You know what I think of that, buddy? I think that we're going to have to teach you how to be like Tarzan. Jane's going to have to come in and, yeah, I'm very funny, folks.
You're a funny guy.
So, yeah, we have a very interesting situation going on. Do you know what it is?
What's that?
We're both standing right now.
Yeah, I don't think too many radio hosts stand up when they talk.
Yeah, that's about as interesting as it gets.
Riddle me this, riddle me that. Who's afraid of the big black bat?
Yes, the Riddler.
The Riddler.
I've got a riddle for you.
What do you got?
Let me think about this riddle real quick. Okay, a man is in a cabin. Okay, he's got an old kerosene lamp. He's got an old stove heater.
Yeah.
Okay, and the kerosene lamp is mounted on the wall, and the heater is gas. Okay, and he's got one match.
Okay.
Okay, which does he light first?
I don't know.
You don't know?
The lantern.
The match, my friend.
Very good.
Given the fact that it's a riddle, you should have thought a little bit more out of the box, buddy, because you don't think everyone just picks the oven or the lamp?
Yeah, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's kind of groovy.
It is groovy. That really makes me feel like Austin Powers, that music.
That's what it is.
Well, you know what? I've got some things to say. And I'm going to say them.
Let's hear them.
Let's hear them.
That's what we're here for.
I
No
believe-
boundaries, folks.
Yeah, folks, no boundaries. I believe that people out there
Yes.
need to wake up to this message that we delivered through this guest tonight. We need to understand that every person around you has an idea, the big idea, and it's the world, right? We all know there's a world and that it has stuff moving around, money and resources and power. It's all moving around. But there's also a different perspective that each of us hold, and it's our little personal experience. It's almost like we all see this big world.
Our own journey.
Exactly, but our journey leaves a residue on the lens that we look at this big world through. And our journey changes the way we look at the big world, just slightly.
Okay.
Just slightly. And I think people
How?
need to learn.
How
I
does
don't
it
know.
do- how does it
well,
do that?
For instance, how? You know, I see the world. It's the world. We both agree it's there. But I see it this certain way because of the way my family's treated me, the way I've...
The way you were brought up.
The way I was brought up, my journey. Exactly. It's all part of the, the way you're brought up.
Just a little part in that journey that we call life.
Life, exactly. And that's what makes the ability for us to see the world possible, our own lives. And people need to stop. I guess they need to not stop, but they need to start being able to realize that the way someone sees the world...
open-minded? Is that what you're saying?
Be more open to the fact that the way someone sees the world is sometimes very powerfully different than the way you've seen the world, because we've both lived.
Of course. Everybody lives in a different place. Everybody's life is different every day.
So why would someone want to hurt someone else? Essentially because they're different. It's fear, my friend.
It is. They're afraid of change.
What are they afraid of changing into? Something that they fear, something they don't understand? And that's what it is. That's what it's all about. That's why you have...
Boy,
that's why you have literally...
what in the hell is the matter with you?
Yeah, what in the hell is the matter with you? Yeah. I'll tell you, and this is not just some, some opinion. There are literally a group of very insanely rich human beings in this world. Bankers, elite. And these human beings have been interbreeding with each other's families. There's a fear these people have that they are going to be like the herd mentality, middle class, the average fellow. These people think that they're some sort of a higher level human being than everyone else, and they believe that they should control everyone else en masse, the large group. And that is like the ultimate form, I think, of control of religion. I mean, what religion are they utilizing?
They're using religion as a tool
Yeah.
of controlling a mass amount of people.
Of course, the ancient religions all used as tools.
Yeah, it's really outdated.
But I ask you, these ancient
really
religions came out of old nations, archaic nations.
Yeah.
What is the religion of America, my friend?
I would, money obviously, but yeah,
I mean,
the whole United States revolves around money. Everybody has a job. Everybody has to pay taxes.
Italy's got Rome. Rome's got the Vatican, right? What does America have? Wall Street. We've got the
Washington,
Pentagon.
D.C.
Yeah, Washington. What is Washington? It's just a bunch of
rich people living there.
Yeah, it's a bunch of smoke and mirrors. I mean, jeez. Jeez is right. And what we need to stop doing, I think, just like that guest said, and I totally agree with them, we need to stop creating a society where people feel like the government should take care of them.
Yeah.
I
think a lot of people feel like that. We pay so much in tax to them that people feel that they should be taking care of us, and I don't think.
Yeah, what they don't understand
feels
is
like that the government is taking care of us.
The government takes money away from people to take care of other people. Then the government takes the money away from people to take care of themselves. So the people are paying for the government and the people that are, not lazy, but some people legitimately don't have the means to survive in this country.
A lot of people don't.
And those people are neglected, and there are a lot of people that can survive and are in different situations.
There's only something like 6% of the country that makes over like $100,000.
That's unbelievable.
Which is in these days not a lot.
And is that you? You make over 100,000?
Yeah, I wish.
Yeah, you wish. What do you make? Like, tell everyone what you make. Go ahead.
I couldn't even tell you.
You don't even know.
Not much.
I don't even know either. You know why? Because I spend most of it on chocolates.
Chocolates.
I love chocolates.
Loves a box of chocolates.
And you know what I
Is your name
think?
Forrest?
I think the people that are trying to, all these power plays to manipulate the Constitution are what really bother me. Because, just 2 administrations ago, you had a constitution that looked completely different. And isn't the Constitution and the Declaration of Independence supposed to just stay
Isn't it
strong?
supposed to be the same?
Yeah, it's not. It's been
But-
changing quite a bit.
But it should change, though, shouldn't it?
Well, it should be amended.
As it goes with the years, it should adjust to fit, you
To
know,
fit
how we've evolved.
And that's true. It should fit how America is evolving, but unfortunately the reason our Constitution has changed and the Declaration of Independence has changed is mainly because of international evolution. I guess, in a sense, losing our sovereignty in a lot of ways has been the influence of a lot of the shifts in our Constitution's meaning and the, you know, like for instance, let's talk about banning of weapons. I mean, it's in the Constitution.
It's coming soon that we're not going to be able to.
Yeah, that citizens are not going to be able to own their own weapon.
Bear arms.
And that scares me, not because I need a weapon, because I want to
Yeah,
kill
I've
someone.
never used one.
I've never.
But the fact that I have the right to do it makes me feel I guess,
Exactly.
like I could protect myself.
Of course, and that's why it's in the Constitution, because what we do not want is a society where the police have all the weapons and they're super powerful, and the police are an arm of this government, and then the people who often in history, and no one can disagree with me, this is all on record, what I'm saying right now, but in history, police have been used to really squelch the voice of the middleman and even the, you know, the working man. I mean, we can't allow these.
Well, there's been a lot of abuse of the power.
There has.
I think.
Because if you had the power, it'd be really quite easy for someone to entice you to abuse it.
To use it in the wrong way.
Which is tough, and we want to be able to
usually
have.
that's used by, you know, bribing or using money, of course.
Yep, of course.
All comes back to the almighty dollar.
The almighty dollar. Green is good. Well,
Green is good.
I think money's good. I really do, because money represents value, and if we use money correctly, we can supply value to our children and to our families and blah, blah, blah. But unfortunately, that idea only works for the average person, because when you start to accumulate money at such a sick rate as some of these groups, especially these non-profit organizations, tax-exempt foundations,
Yeah.
these groups are funding all sorts of controversial, you know, both sides of opposing political camps, and it's just insane, you know. And when you get to that level of money accumulation, you really forget what exactly money means.
Yeah.
You can just use it to manipulate and to create the change that you and your own fears and paranoia want to see to secure, I don't know, some sort of an Anglophile viewpoint. Chick-ching.
Tax Plus for all your bookkeeping and income.
Oh, I
you
see.
playing commercials?
Yeah,
there,
it's a
Paul?
commercial. Yeah, that was for taxes. That's another thing that's crazy. I mean, if you think about it, you know, no taxation without representation. The income tax is a total taxation without representation. It wasn't even ratified in the whole process of it becoming, you know, enforced.
Yeah.
But to me, I mean, if I see our money being spent on essentially every. Oh my goodness! Did you just take a bathroom break
We
during?
just flushed all our money down the toilet.
Yeah, you did. Our money is being spent in a way where we are seeing more and more infrastructure. And what I mean by that, folks, is I mean all the great 3-letter groups of our government. You know, back in the 60s and 70s, they murdered the alphabet with these groups. We got every single possible extension of government power into all these different directions. Each one of those we pay for. We have to fund them. They call it, you know, the price of cleaning house. They call it, but the infrastructure is just so immense now that the taxes, the reason we're paying them just doesn't make any sense. And this money that we're paying is just putting us more and more in debt. And I think a lot of people, they don't worry about that as a whole country because they individually are in debt, which is it's a tough thing to realize. What do you got there? What was that?
You know what that is?
I have no idea. Do you?
The Three Stooges.
What are they doing?
That's their alphabet.
What?
Yeah, I don't know.
That's messed up, man. I don't appreciate that.
You don't appreciate what? What's that?
I don't How come I don't have sound over here? I got a good one. Yeah, that's my favorite one right there. Hey, Christmas is coming up very soon,
Yes,
man.
it is. What are you doing for Christmas this year?
I don't know, but I know what you're doing, bro.
I'll be at your house.
Yeah, my friends, Krega is a great guest to have at your Christmas gathering. If you want to book Krega for your Christmas gathering, he's free.
I'm always free.
He'll be sure to eat plenty of nice meat because meat tastes so delicious in Christmas.
Your mom, your family always cooks nothing but the best.
You know what? I hope every family really takes this holiday not as just a break. I mean, this is what I've been realizing, Craig, that in the past, holidays had like a meaning, whether it was religious or spiritual or whatever. They had a meaning and there was message behind them. You know, a lot of those meanings were paganistic, and we've lost a lot of them because of, you know, different religions and forms of science. But what I'm trying to say is, nowadays, instead of a religion meaning something, it's just a break. It's a break from the grind, from this thing we're stuck in.
Basically just a vacation, pretty much.
It is. Religions have created these holidays. Beliefs have created these holidays. Different events in history have created these holidays, and we've lost. We may be able to regurgitate some definition of the holiday and what it might mean, metaphorically or as a some sort of a deeper meaning, but we can't really say that we actually believe those things, because most people that I see don't really enjoy the holidays.
Yeah, it's more of just a break for everyone to not be working and to just, I guess, sit around and do nothing.
They like that.
Spend a lot of money. You think people are going to spend money this year?
That's why people hate, man.
I don't think so.
I don't think they are either. I think people are tired, man.
Everything's too expensive now.
Too expensive. People are just tired of that feeling. Right now, for me, holiday reminds me of just how, I guess, in the routine everyone is. Because then you see this one holiday, and it totally changes the spirits of everyone. Just this one little day that everyone's going to have off from their works, and they're going to be with their families. It frustrates people because they're in the grind so deeply. They got bills to pay. They got stuff to do. And they get this day off, and they either really enjoy themselves and then go back into the grind and hate it, or they hate this day because it separates them from the grind. Some people don't want to leave the grind.
Yeah, people rely on it.
They rely on the grind.
Yeah.
They do. And when they leave it, like we were talking about, these people who have fears of other people's views and stuff, sometimes when people leave the grind, they start to question who they are, what makes them, because when you're not in the grind, you still exist. I'll give you some information. That's truth. When you're not in the grind, you still exist. But who are you? You're not, Krega the radio show guy. You're not Krega the postman, Krega the McDonald's attendant. You are just Krega. And you're with your family, and you got to think about that, I guess. I mean,
that's what it, I guess, what it's all about.
Now, you going to leave cookies and milk out?
No.
No? What about Santa Claus, bro?
Come on now.
Come on. What about, all right, at least you're going to leave out carrots for the reindeer.
Sure. I'll leave them outside.
That's what I'm saying. No, not outside.
For some rabbits or something?
Put them where Santa's going to be. He'll bring them up. No one likes to feed the reindeer but Santa. No one can do it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I heard that. Santa told me that.
You want answers? I think I'm entitled.
I'm entitled.
I want the truth.
I want all the truth.
Can't handle the truth.
Listen, most people can't. I'll tell you, if you had some sort of serum where you could put the truth into someone with just this little injection, most people would fall to the ground and be really dizzy.
Well, really?
Because it's probably some chemical you've created.
Most stuff is a chemical that you created.
Most stuff's this chemical I created, huh?
Yeah, yeah.
I beg to differ, buddy. Name one chemical I've created.
Not that us personally.
Oh, okay, good. But someone else that we've hired.
Correct.
Okay, that makes sense. I guess we're going to be rich then.
By the government.
Yeah, the guys who create the chemicals make a bunch of money. Isn't it messed up, man, how there are so many people that pay for chemicals, and then there are other people that get arrested for selling the same chemicals in just a different form?
Well, just not in prescription form.
Yeah.
Illegally, I guess you would say.
And you know what really bothers me? The number of kids that are put on smart drugs.
Like Ritalin.
I tell you, man, I really give props to my mother, because there was a certain time in my schooling where I just didn't fit, with the whole scheme of sitting and being quiet and raising your hand and all that stuff.
Yeah.
For a certain period, I was kind of,
all over the place.
I was all over the place, man. I had
Bored.
I had
Bored,
a potential. I had a potential that needed to be harnessed in a way that the curriculum just doesn't understand. My mom understood it, my family understood it, and they told me I should go on those pills. And I used to get them and use them when I needed to write papers and stuff.
Yeah.
A lot of people do that.
Which I think people still do. just randomly if they need to concentrate, which is bad.
Well, it's not. Well, there's nothing wrong with you making a decision with your own body and your own mind.
Yeah,
What's
but I think it's a fact of the people that have been raised that way. They can't sit down and focus and do work
without the pill.
Yeah, well, it's a way that they were raised.
Oh, I see.
They weren't raised with the discipline to do that.
So you're saying the parents raised this person in a way that makes them hard to concentrate on one thing or whatever.
Hard to control, if you will.
You know what? I think that isn't.
It could be.
That's one
a possibility.
factor. That's one factor. There's so many factors. Things are more dynamic,
Yeah,
and I know you know that. But I just don't like how these kids at such a young age, an age where they couldn't possibly understand the ramifications of putting a chemical into their system day in and day out to attain some sort of concentration on information that they're being so glib about. They're not going to remember this stuff.
Yeah, I don't remember half the stuff I learned in high school.
I don't, and I don't utilize it. And, I think that's because in high school...
I wish they taught stuff like, let's see, I don't know, personal finance even, how to control your money, save your money, and use credit cards, because all of us everybody's in debt in this world and nobody knows how to manage anything.
Well, yeah, they try.
No, yeah, I don't know if they try very hard, but
you know what they do, man? They feed you with all these facts upon facts upon facts in all your years of high school and middle school. But what they don't do is they don't give you a reasonable explanation as to how and why it's important for you to be educated, because they don't want you to know. Teachers a lot of the times help. And some of the teachers I've had in my day have given me such lessons that I could never forget. But the majority of teachers, I think, are being beaten down. They're being beaten down by a system that really separates them from each other, and it just doesn't make sense. You can be teaching the most profound stuff, but if you don't really know how to connect it all together and why it's important to know, then you're never going to survive. What do we got here?
I think we're going to take a break. You want to take a break for a little bit?
Yeah, take a quick break. We'll do like a 2-minute break.
We'll leave you out with some Rolling Stones.
And we'll be back, guys.
We'll be back at 888-205-2263 on the No Boundaries radio show. 11:20 a.m. And welcome back, folks, to the No Boundaries radio show with Charles and Craig. I am Craig, as always. Charles is over here.
And I'm Charles.
Now that we have his mic on. 888-205-2263. Give us a call if you got anything going on. Anybody doing anything tonight? Anybody wants to talk to us about anything and everything.
From what I've heard from people, it's a slow night tonight for a lot of people.
Yeah, it's we're getting towards the holidays again. People are coming back from school eventually, so.
Yep. Yay! Wow! Woo!
Whoop-de-doo.
Back from school! Woo!
Yeah. Woohoo!
Woohoo! Do we have one of those sound effects? Someone go, woohoo! You should make it.
Yeah, we'll make it.
I'm feeling pepped up. I'm telling you. Paula Fouce gave me a little. It's nice to understand that. I've never met Paula, never really talked to her for an extended period of time, but something she understands is exactly the same in its nature to something I understand.
Yeah.
And we've both allowed ourselves to reach a certain point where we can see that in each other and in other people, and allow other people to see it in us because we practice it, or try to, and it makes me feel good.
Yeah, I think it makes everybody feel good to know that people are willing to open themselves up a little bit.
Yeah.
Instead of being so close-minded and all these terrorists, if you will, that just, I think, believe in different stuff than we do. We need to have more of a tolerance to that than, going over and blowing up their whole countries.
As Scotty McCall from the show would say, is tolerance just another word for acceptance? I don't think so. We need to have a discussion.
Yeah.
I like that he says that, because that's true, man. I mean, you tolerate certain religious ridiculousness and eventually be accepting it.
Yeah.
What are you laughing at?
I'm laughing at you.
Yeah, okay, that's good.
Yeah, whatever.
I'm pretty funny. Well, I will tell you, there are a lot of ways that we can join each other and connect with each other, and there are a lot of ways that we can hurt each other. But it's more enjoyable, I believe.
Funny how? I mean, funny like I'm a clown.
Like I'm here to entertain you.
What do you mean funny? Funny how? How am I funny?
So I was walking down the street with my friend Billy. Billy says to me, he says, you know what he says? He says, how you doing? I say, I'm doing okay. How you doing? Right here in the studio, we got a The Sopranos poster. James Gandolfini signed.
Nice. You like that, huh?
Yeah, he signed his right arm. He's got a big picture of himself on the poster, and he signed his own
Seemed to be
right
the
arm.
only place he could sign it without messing up the letters.
I guess so, but he's messed up his arm. James, let me ask you a
Messed up his
question.
arm.
I see you looking at me in this poster. Let me ask you a question. How's your arm doing? Looks a little messed up.
A little messed up?
Kid, your arm is so messed up that it's got a signature written all over it. You know what we're going to be doing, me and my some people from the other place I work.
What's
Mr.
that?
Mr. Music in College Furniture on Harvard Ave in Allston.
Harvard Ave in Allston, folks. If you ever need anything, head
Yeah.
down there.
Yeah, go down to Mr. Music.
See Charles.
See Charles or see Sal or Tom or go to College Furniture on Harvard Ave and see Mo, and you can get tell them you listen to No Boundaries, and you can get anything you need. Folks will supply you with that connection. But we're going to be making a CD, okay? And the CD is going to be Arnold Schwarzenegger sings the hits.
Really?
Yeah, because as you know, I do an Arnold Schwarzenegger impression.
Yes.
And we're going to be doing Arnold Schwarzenegger sings the hits. For instance,
Should do a Christmas CD.
Yeah. Oh, that sounds good. We were going to do New York, like New York. What
Do all Christmas songs.
What kind of song?
Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer.
Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer.
What else could you do? White Christmas or something like that.
White Christmas.
Frosty the Snowman.
Frosty the Snowman. With a very shiny nose. What do you think? See, you're laughing.
We should do that. That'll be. We should do that as a bit here.
We should do whatever we want because this is No Boundaries. That's right. I keep reminding you guys of that. You guys aren't listening. We can do whatever we want. We can't swear. We can't say gross things like.
But we can do whatever we want.
Yeah, we can
This
say.
is our own place to say, to do pretty much whatever we feel like we want to do. If you ever had a band you want to play on our show, you want to play CDs or something, give us a call.
Yeah.
Find us. We're findable on the internet. If you find us, we're there.
Totally findable.
It's No Boundaries. We do whatever we want, whenever we want.
To tell you the truth, man, we have the opportunity to speak just like everyone else, but we can broadcast it, which means
Yes, we have a larger voice, if you will.
exactly a larger resonance, and this forum is nothing without you folks,
The young Americans.
Yeah, we see there's quite a few of you listening right now. We have a little tracker, but call in. Don't be afraid. There are a lot of people that call in that I've heard after they call say, "Wow, I was a little nervous, but that was great." It's not hard.
Once you get past the first couple minutes, you'll be good.
Yeah, you get past the first couple minutes and you start to feel comfortable, and you find that when you first call, you've got like a goal, you've got a direction. You want to call for a reason. You want to say a specific thing or argue a point, and then as you're talking, you'll find that you'll soon change your little energy there, and you'll start to get comfortable and loosen up and talk about what you really are thinking, what you really feel. Not to say the reason you called wasn't your actual, feelings, but it's different to be speaking in a forum when you're comfortable, when you're there. You're there with the people as who you are and not, worrying about what you sound like and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
So.
Don't worry about that.
Yeah, with that note, always we're repeating it, 888-205-2263. Always fun to call in. I must say that there are quite a few guests that are going to be on our show that are not gay. Like, who's that? Senator Craig?
Yeah.
Senator Craig, what a strange little story.
I am not gay.
I've heard that soundbite everywhere.
Yeah, I'm sure you have.
It's a nice little soundbite. I mean, I'm sure he wishes he didn't hear it everywhere, because he probably is most definitely gay and is reminded of his lie for political gains. Oh, nice. Beverly Hills Cop, man. Oh my God, Craig, that was an amazing spin move. How'd you do that?
You like that?
Right now, folks,
Backflips?
Craig just did a backflip, right? He landed. He grabbed his left foot, pulled it all the way up, straightened the leg out. Wow.
Cheerleaders moves over here, folks.
It's kind of gross that I'm just watching him, though, through this glass. I've got a strange little studio in here. I got Craig through, I can hear him because he's on the air.
It's kind of like we're in prison almost. We got this glass, this 2-inch thick piece of glass in front of us.
It's kind of, let me correct you, it's kind of like I'm in prison because I'm in the little studio room here.
You're stuck in there.
But that's okay because in prison, what do I get? Let me see. I got TV. I got a nice library. I can get my GED. Unfortunately, I got Aramark food. Ladies and gentlemen, Aramark supplies food to most prisons and most schools and universities, and they're nasty.
Really?
Yeah, Aramark.
Nasty in a good way?
No, nasty in a nasty way. Like, cafeteria food is Aramark. Remember the food we had in high school? Remember the meats, the lunch meats?
Yeah, it was disgusting.
Yeah, they were bubbly. They were bubbly lunch meats. And I don't agree with bubbly lunch meats. I actually took a break from meat recently. I'm doing vegetarian again.
How's that going for you?
It's going all right. To tell you the truth, you don't really need meat. As a matter of fact, people who say, oh, I need some meat, I need some meat. Like, for instance, my roommate, meat eater, okay, he's always eating meat. The other night, I had a sandwich, cucumber deluxe, pure vegetables, no meat. And I let him taste it.
You eat all of it?
Well, he had half of it, okay? And he came to the conclusion that it was very delicious. And I asked him, I said, have you ever had a sandwich like this? He said, well, I've had vegetarian sandwiches, but I've never had a sandwich that was quite so directed towards the vegetarian palate.
Correct.
Like a cucumber delight. But what he did come to the conclusion was that meat offers a very different taste from just plain vegetables. And
Yes,
sometimes you can't experience all the flavors that are out there unless you eat some of these just vegetarian dishes.
Yeah, because otherwise you might not otherwise have some of these vegetables in your sandwich.
You wouldn't, exactly. Like I told him, if you took the same sandwich you just ate and you added a meat, it would be very delicious.
Correct.
And you'd be satisfied just the same. But it would taste significantly different because of the introduction of this one meat. If you added a simple new type of lettuce or a tomato or something like that, it would change it a little bit. But meat really changes the flavor, dramatically. My goodness, I know what that was. That's someone eating something.
Eating a sandwich.
A sandwich or an apple.
An apple, correct.
You know what I thought it was originally?
What?
You know that sound that's made when you pull steak away from like a T-bone?
Yeah, that little rip.
You love that rip, don't you? You live for it. I live for it. Oh, a cosmopolitan party up on the penthouse. Sounds very nice. Oh, nice. Ooh, for me?
I'm sure a few folks are cracking their first beer right about now.
Oh, yeah, you think
Sure,
so?
they've had a few.
I'm sure a few of the friends that you have listening to our show are cracking a couple beers. And there's one of them. I'll tell you, someone fell off a roof in Alston, man. Did you hear about that?
Yeah, I did hear about that.
Where did you hear about that? On the news?
Yeah, it was on the news.
Yeah,
this was probably tragic, like a month ago?
Yeah, a couple weeks ago or something.
Yeah,
like
I meant
that.
to ask you about that because I thought maybe you might have known the kid that fell or jumped
well,
or whatever.
I do know him actually. I wasn't like quite friends with him, more of acquaintances.
You heard of him?
He worked at Marty's. He worked at Marty's Liquor.
Yeah, that's why I knew. It's like right down the street from your store.
Exactly. Marty's Liquor has some of the greatest sandwiches. Ladies and gentlemen, the Marty's Liquor Store is a great liquor store, but when you go inside, there is a deli that was just tremendous. Or still is, even though it lost one of its workers. Oh my God, that sounded horrible.
Yeah, it did.
I think there was a guy at gunpoint being made to squeal. And there's a sheep. Or a lamb. What was that, a lamb?
I think that's some sheep.
You are loving these sound effects. I am too.
Kind of fun, right?
I like how I don't have to do anything.
We gotta have sound effect wars. We gotta set this up so we can go back.
Yeah,
and forth.
I keep trying to do sound effects, but you keep shutting my sound down. I don't know why. Why can't you just leave it up? Anyways, this kid apparently was in a fight. Oh my God, that sounds groovy. He was in a fight with some different people, and they were. He had a black eye and stuff. I guess he got in a physical fight.
Yeah.
Then later that night, he was up at a party, and I guess someone had tossed him off this roof, man.
Really?
Doesn't that sound horrible?
That is horrible.
Fall off a roof to your demise.
I couldn't imagine. That's one of the worst ways I think you could go.
But you felt that feeling, though. I know you have. Roller coaster gives you that feeling, that dream. I know you've had that
being
dream.
Up high. I'm not a big fan of heights. If anybody knows me.
Have you ever had that dream where you wake up because you've been falling?
No, I don't think I have.
Oh, I've had that dream. That's an interesting.
Doesn't sound like a fun dream.
It's not. It's very scary because you wake up right at the moment where you should have hit whatever you're falling towards, which is convenient.
What do you think that means?
I don't know. I was younger. A lot of different things going on, but maybe it was some sort of message like I should watch my step, or maybe it was a different thing, like maybe take the risk and fly. Don't worry, I'll wake up when the time comes.
Maybe they're trying to tell you something.
Wow, they are. I think they were. This is the aliens. This is some nice smooth jazz. This is Christmas music right here.
I'm not sure what this is.
It's
just
not
kind of there.
It's not a Christmas melody, but is it? No, this. You know what this is? You know what they
No.
call this? Muzak.
called the trolley song.
Do you know that word, muzak?
No, I don't.
That's what they play
It's
in
like a mix
elevators.
of everything. Yeah.
No. It's regular songs that have been changed into like
No
no words, no.
Just straight music.
That's good right there. Now, who is this?
Couldn't tell you.
And where did you hear it?
It's on the.
It's
little
on the
machine
sound
here.
effect machine?
Yeah.
That's understandable because it's an excellent little jam.
It is.
And the sound effects machine has a space for it. Let's put it on there.
There it is. It's a space for everything.
There it is, and there it goes, folks. You heard it right here. The sound effects machine, sweetest jam. Ooh, this is real nice. You want to dance? Ladies and gentlemen, we're here at WBNW, a place where you can tune in to really find a nice, peaceful place.
Just hanging out.
Just
a Friday
hanging out.
evening.
So grab your loved one and pull her or him in real tight.
Real close, like.
Yeah, tell that person right in their ear, that loved one, that partner. Tell them right in the ear, I love you. And say, we are the same. And I want you to look around you if you don't have a loved one, a partner. Look around you. See all the faces around you. And if there are no faces, look in a mirror or just think of yourself and the people that you love and say, I love every one of them.
I love everyone.
And I love myself because I am beautiful. Say it.
I am beautiful.
Good. And say you love yourself.
I love myself.
Excellent. That's the type of confidence.
Confidence?
Confidence,
there
thank
you
you.
go.
That's the type of confidence that we are attempting to cultivate on this evening, folks. Attempting to cultivate the confidence of beautiful, peace, love, and kindness. That is a truly difficult
Spread
task.
it everywhere throughout Massachusetts.
Like butter.
Where we broadcast here.
Like
beautiful Needham, Massachusetts.
It's very beautiful, and it's very traffic-filled at certain hours.
Traffic-filled, yes.
There
Not these hours, though.
Have you found that in the last 2 or 3 years, the traffic has, like, exponentially increased?
I think there's more people. More people, more cars, more traffic.
Roads have to start going not forward and backward and left and right. They need to start going up and down.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We need to start having, like, some airplane cars or something. They have them, man.
Flying
I've seen
cars.
them. I've seen them. I've seen documentaries on these cars that power up, levitate, go, and then land. I mean, they're not, like, as
Fuel
perfected.
efficient.
Well,
if at all.
if at all, yeah. But they're not as perfected as, like, the cars we have now and how we use them. But imagine.
It's true.
Imagine this car. You know, it would work a lot better if we had the infrastructure for it.
Uh-huh.
The reason your car works so well now is because you have roads everywhere.
Roads to drive on,
And
yeah.
gas stations everywhere.
Yeah.
But, you know, as soon as we have the sort of computer technology and blah, 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 we'll be flying in space.
You think we'll see that in our future?
I think that there's technology enough that there are, like, a few special zebra patch.
Then you have people crashing in space. That would be terrible.
That would be terrible because if you crash in
the
space,
air.
you fall to your death.
Correct.
Yeah, that is correct,
They're not
folks.
going to come up with that.
Although there could be, like, a little, like, futuristic airbag thing. You know, like, you know, standard airbags. Now you have standard
like a parachute.
Standard parachute now in your car.
Ejection seat in your car.
What's SRS? Isn't that airbags? Self-reliant system.
I don't think that's what it means.
I don't know, but we should create a self-reliant system. Maybe a little robot that's like, I don't need your help.
Like R2D2.
No, R2D2 needs the help of C3PO. I think. No.
I don't know about that. You know, those are my initials.
R2D2.
No, C3PO.
C3PO. You mean CPO is your initials?
Yeah, just without the 3.
Because I was gonna say, man, how could the initial of one of your names be 3? Unless you were Craig the Third.
The Third? No, I'm not.
What's your middle name, bro? P.
Patrick.
I guessed it. The guy who, you know, the guy who scared He scared snakes out of somewhere.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, he was a saint. That sounds like a MIDI version. That's a really cheese bucket version.
You like that?
Of the Star Wars song. That sounds like it's from a Nintendo game.
Yeah, probably.
Probably is. But that's okay. Nintendo's excellent. Old school video games, people don't appreciate them at all anymore. We're getting old. Butts and I cannot lie. Those other fellas can't deny. See, that's what we do. We have guests on that are religious scholars. We have guests on that are financial, financial
everything.
Have financial brilliance. We have guests on that are ex-government, and we have different information we're giving out that is of the highest order. We're also playing around and listening to what? Run DMC, Grandmaster Flash. Who was that?
I'm not even sure who that is.
You know why? Because you don't know about what's hip, buddy.
I thought I told you never to interrupt me while I'm working.
Oh my goodness. I'm sorry, Craig. Let you do your thing then.
Stop interrupting me, Charles.
Jeez, I don't know what I was thinking, man. Sometimes I just fly off the handle, as they say. Dragnet. Did you guys hear the drum roll? Did you hear it?
I heard it.
Nice, nice. We have
I hear
excellent
everything.
microphones in here. Well, folks, I'll tell you, this guy in here, Craiga, and this guy right here, Charles, we're getting pretty crazy in here. It's getting pretty wild. The night is coming to a close pretty soon, in about 10 minutes.
Yeah, you got some music you want to play over there? We'll play a song before we head out.
I got some music. We'll play a song. I want to once again thank Paula, but we'll be back and we'll do our spiel on the shows coming up and what's going on. But I'm going to play some music. We got some playing right now, but I'm going to change it. We just played some Marley. We've only played one song, really, but it's because we've been really talking.
We've been chatting tonight. It's been fun. We missed last week, so we had some time to catch up.
This is a funky song right here I'd like to play. Should we do it?
What do you got?
Let's listen to Perfect World. Am I hooked up here? Can I play?
Yes.
All right, here we go. Shut off whatever you got going on. Folks, Talking Heads, of course, my favorite group. This is called Perfect World. Very beautiful jam. We'll be back. Craig and Charles, 888-205-2263, WBNW1120.com. Click Listen Live if you're not on the radio. Also, 1120 a.m., 1390 a.m., Plymouth.
I'm cutting you off. Well, there we go, folks. A little Talking Heads for you. Gotta like that. That's called Perfect World, I think is the name of that, Chaz. Perfect World.
Yeah, Perfect World. I like
Nice.
that song,
I like that
man.
song, too.
It's really peaceful and really perfect.
Wish
and
it was
the
a
world's
perfect world we lived in.
It is, man. Everything is perfect. You know what? Without the troubled times, without the rainy days, folks, there would be no flowers. There would be no sunshine. There would be no happiness without the moments that we feel despair. That was a little reverend there. I don't know who, Reverend what, but it was me.
The good Reverend.
The good Reverend, yeah. There is no bad reverends here. There's no black, dark popes here, my friends. No sin. Whoa, whoa. And now. What was that?
I don't know.
That was insane. I like that, though. It was a little quick, We're feeling a little crazy in here tonight, folks. I don't know if it's over-exhaustion or under-exhaustion.
You're feeling antsy.
But it's underpaid, I'll tell you that, folks. Underpaid, undermined, but understood. I like that jam. That's Marvin Gaye.
It's a little party music for everybody.
Are you still dancing? Let me give you guys a chance to get a sneak peek at what's coming up. We've got tomorrow morning here on WBNW 1120 a.m. We've got American Jukebox. That's from 6 to 9.
Yes, that's correct.
Yeah, American Jukebox is great, folks. If you like classic rock and you like the old hits, you know, just tune into that.
Yeah, good stuff.
Yeah.
After that, we got Pat Summerall.
Yep.
Get your sports fixes for the morning, Saturday morning.
Yeah, what if his name was Winter None?
Winter None?
Yeah, Summerall, Winter None. Yeah, you guys like that one.
I don't know if he'd like that.
Don't forget as well, not tomorrow, but during the week, from 9 o'clock to 11 o'clock, we got Money Matters Radio.
Correct, with Barry Armstrong.
Yeah, that's the main show here, folks. That's the guy. We've also got Financial Focus right before him from 8 to 9. Leo Leiden, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Leo Leiden. Don't forget him. Also, The Show.
The Show with Scotty McCall.
My man.
Good man.
Scotty McCall, 4 to 6, folks. The show is great. They talk about everything, and they got great guests. Just like us, talk about everything. We've got great guests. But yeah, I really hope that everyone has an excellent week. We're going to be back on next week because right now, the most important commodity of a government is intel. Intelligence. Okay?
Intelligence,
yeah,
folks.
Information. And
Gotta
this man,
educate ourselves.
That's true.
That's what our problem today is. We're not educating ourselves.
Go on, man. Preach that. That is the.
We're really not, and I'm
Yeah.
one of the biggest offenders of that. We need to educate ourselves more about everything that's going on. Everything, absolutely everything.
But you're doing better.
I'm working on it. I'm trying.
Listen,
Got
2
this
years
show
ago,
to work on right now.
2 years ago, you would have given me so many different answers for the same questions I ask you now. Now I ask you
Correct.
same questions, and our perspectives are growing with each other, folks. You can extend your perspective into a place where you can understand why things are happening as
Join
they are.
us. We're trying to make a group here of people that are trying to enlighten themselves and get a higher understanding of everything that's
Yeah.
going on in this. And anything. We can just talk about anything. This is No Boundaries radio show. We have no boundaries here.
Yep.
We can talk about whatever we want.
We need to get high off each other, folks, without the need for violence. We need to be militant in the sense of organization, but we can't be too crazy. Folks.
Yeah, we've run to the end of the show here. Another installment of No Boundaries with Craig and Charles on the Money Matters Radio Network. 11:20 a.m. And we'll see you next week.
Yeah,
folks.
sounds good. We'll see you next
How's
week,
that
7 to 9.
You're listening to Boston's only personal finance radio, AM 1120 WBNW.